5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello everyone! Good afternoon Philippines! Good day world! Magandang hapon Pilipinas! Maayong hapon sa tanan! Mapya malulum sa langon! This is your admin Sam of the Philippine Pageants page and welcome to my live and interactive interview today. Guys, today is special because we have, of course, pinakahihintay ko ang aking kababayan from Zamboanga Del Sur because I am actually from Dina, Zamboanga Del Sur. And the guy is representing aming neighboring municipality of Dumingag, Zamboanga Del Sur. At mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan. Of course, he is joining the Misters of Filipinas pageant. And of course, bago dyan, papasalamat muna natin. Of course, Sir Mark Alvero ng Pips TV. Of course, and the head of the Misters of Filipinas, Sir Carlo Morris Galang. Thank you po, sir. At sa lahat ng mga nandito. So guys, ito, although kababayan ko to guys, pero magnonosbir ako dito. Hindi to masyadong fluent mag-Bisaya or mag-Tagalog. So, mapapa-English tayo dito mamaya. So, pasensyahan ninyo yung aking mga, of course, English mamaya. So, of course, huwag na natin patagalin to guys. I'm proud to present to you Misters of Dumingag, Zamboanga Del Sur, from the Zamboanga Peninsula, vying for Misters of Filipinas 2021, Januarius, Paglinawan.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good morning to you. It's good afternoon for me.
Yes. Kumusta? How's your day now?
It's good. I'm filled with so much energy, pa. Actually,
Wow.
I just came from coaching football with the kids.
Oh.
So as you can see, I'm kind of like burnt, maybe. I'm kind of burnt and I'm still feeling
Yes.
the energy and all the testosterone from playing football.
Yes.
So I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Yes. Okay, so what time usually do you do football with the kids?
Actually, today they're not technically kids. They're older men. They're more around my age,
Okay.
mga 18 to 25 years old. And
Yeah.
I think we usually play around 2 to 3 times a week.
Yes.
Actually, because it rains all the time here in
Yes.
Dumingag, which like it's like Hunger Games. It rains every like afternoon. Like when it hits
Yes.
1 p.m., it starts raining until like 4. Grab it. It's been like this for the whole year, and so because of that, we train around like 10 a.m.
That way, that is good for your farming also, right?
Yeah, for also these kids to see that these kids, these boys, girls also, for them to also see the farm. The football program is not just limited to Dumingag, but it's welcomed for people from neighboring municipalities to try out also.
Okay. I think your nearest
Yeah.
municipality there is the Mulavi, right?
Mahayag, then Molave.
Mahayag.
But yes, Molave is also really near.
What about Tambulig?
Also, actually, after
Yes.
Molave is like 10 minutes to Tambulig.
Okay. So guys, hindi pa nakakaalam guys, Zamboanga del Sur is part of the Region 9 and we have 3 main provinces there. We have Zamboanga del Sur, ito nga, kaming dalawa ni Januarius, and we have Zamboanga del Norte. The capital of Zamboanga del Sur is Pagadian City, Zamboanga del Norte is Dapitan, and we have the new one, Zamboanga Sibugay, the capital is Ipil. And Zamboanga City is there, Dapitan City is also there, of course. Dipolog is of course. And ito, how is the competition so far, this pandemic?
Well, of course, just like any other competition, and because of the pandemic, we always had to adjust based on the COVID, the lockdowns and stuff. But considering my experiences so far, it's been really fun actually. In the beginning, I think this is a pageant that I didn't expect myself to do.
Okay.
It's my first national pageant, actually a big pageant, and pageantry was not something I ever saw myself getting into ever in my life. But then I don't know, something just switched, and I feel like I there is a voice inside my head telling me like to join such a platform, and to tell my story of like how left the city life and became a farmer. And then since then, when I joined Misters, it's been a challenging experience. For every requirements needed, there's always new challenges, and especially because I'm only new from Zamboanga Peninsula, Zamboanga del Sur.
Yes,
I'm also still learning how to be Zamboangueño, where I
yes,
lived for 10 years in Cebu. So I know what it's like living the Cebu life. So for 10 years there, and then for me coming to Zamboanga Peninsula, and then to do Misters and representing Zamboanga Peninsula, I had a lot of challenges of what is the culture, what is the tourism
yes.
aspects here. Yeah, so other than that, I think your typical pageant challenges like the mga Q&A, which
Yes.
is very hard for me. I have like stage fright, so I've been trying to practice my public speaking.
Okay. Ano, of course, hindi ka maninibago sa language because a lot of Cebuanos or Bisaya are actually in Zamboanga del Sur or in Dumingag.
Yes, everybody here speaks Bisaya, which is amazing.
Ah, ay,
But
exactly. Yes,
it's really deep. Sometimes it's like super loud, like deep Bisaya, and then it's
yes,
since we're also like mixed with like the Subanen tribe, I've
yes.
people here is very they also speak some of that, which is it's really cool. But I still, if I haven't learned Tagalog pa and then Bisaya,
Yes.
if there's another language, it's already too hard enough for me.
Yes, good thing that you have mentioned about Subanen because Subanen is actually another tribes in Zamboanga, in region, after region 9. We have in the
Yeah.
entire Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga del Norte. Yes, that's one of the predominant tribes also in Zamboanga del Sur, or Zamboanga Peninsula. And now let's talk about, before we proceed, I'd like to show the introductory video of yours. So let's go for that.
Okay.
And ito,
Sure.
ipapakita natin. Yes, yes. Mm-mm. Ito. Share ko lang. Yan.
My story wouldn't make sense without starting from the beginning. I grew up in Vietnam for 14 years. We were given a childhood where we were able to explore and be free and
Yes.
do what it is that we wanted to do, or at least try to. So I joined the Model United Nations. I was able to travel and compete in sports around Asia. I tried drama, but that didn't work out so well. I got the chance to be exposed with so many different cultures, lifestyles, beliefs, but being surrounded by so much, it made me question more about what my roots were, who I really was, where I was from, and the impact that I wanted to achieve in this lifetime. So when life happened and we had to move back to the Philippines, I was in complete culture shock. I think the most interesting experience that I had was riding a Jeep for the first time. I didn't even know how to stop, let alone I didn't know where it was going. After a few years of living in Cebu, I graduated from college, started a few businesses, and lived the city life. I was thankfully finally able to integrate into the culture. I was in lockdown by myself for 6 months, and it gave me the time to reflect, and it made me realize that everything that I have done up until this point lacked purpose, and the only thing that really mattered to me was my family. When I finally moved to Mindanao, it was a full 180 experience, and everything that I had experienced in Vietnam and Cebu has culminated into this one point and to the five pillars that I stand by. Football, to open opportunities for kids to work and learn through the love of the game. Fitness, to reach peak performance through nutrition and fitness practices. Food, to stay resourceful to what Mother Earth has provided us. Farming, to learn and apply modern technology to traditional ways. And lastly, family, which is the most important one, to continue their legacy of love and to always do good and be good. When the world stopped because of COVID 19 and food became the currency to survive, food security never felt more real. That's why here I am today advocating in food security through youth agripreneurship. I plan to find solutions to traditional agriculture practices. We, the youth, should not be neglected. We are creative and innovative and are exposed to new technologies and ideas to find ways to solve the food security problem. Zamboanga Del Sur and Zamboanga Peninsula as a whole has a variety of agriculture lands, of raw materials, and tourism sites. That's why we need to promote and support agripreneurs who can create quality Filipino made products made in the Philippines to the world. I believe that everything that happened for a reason, and I couldn't be happier and more grateful for these experiences. After some time searching and finding meaning, this is who I am and this is where I belong. I am Januarius Paglinawan, proudly from the organic town of Dumingag, Zamboanga Del Sur in Zamboanga Peninsula. Becoming a part of Misters is now a stepping stone for me, not only to showcase my advocacy into a wider audience, but this will allow everyone to join me to rediscover and explore my roots as a Zamboangueño and my life as a Filipino.
Wow, thank you for
Yay!
that. Yes. And I think,
Thank you, sir.
okay, I think for a while, I think I made a mistake here. I have used the room for Saint Vintola for your interview. So that's quite confusing, but it's okay. Mega shout out kay Jason Bardelas. I did an interview with him. He's actually Mr. GMA Cavite. Yan. Jason Bardelas. And he is with us. Okay,
Cool.
thank
Hey,
you.
Jason. Mhm.
Yes. Mm-mm. I would like to ask, you took that
What's up?
video in Dumingag,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
How many days did it take you to finish the whole video?
The shooting side was it took us 2 days.
Oh,
Like one day was like shooting the farm and then the
yes.
experience, all the shots that you saw, and then the second day was more of the speaking side, introducing who I
Mm,
was. Uh,
yes.
but the challenging part of making the video was actually pre-shooting the video, preparing, like getting the permits for the videographer to come, getting the right people to be involved, because like borders you can't cross. It was actually very challenging shooting this video, and it was
Mm-mm.
super stressful.
And after that, the national costume. Now let's talk about
Mm,
national costume. So before
okay,
that,
yes.
ipapakita ko muna. Yan, ipapakita muna natin.
Okay.
Yan, yan. Okay, this one. Ano, ito na lang. Ito na lang para mas maganda. Yan. Oh, where's that? Sorry,
No
Facebook.
problem.
And this one. Yes. Kumusta ang national costume? Anong istorya niyan?
Oh,
What's the
so
story behind that?
the story of this, actually, this is this is inspired by the Subanen tribe. For those who don't know what Subanen is, Subanen means like Suba or Suba. Suba
Yeah,
means like
yes.
river dweller.
Yes.
Means Subanen means river dweller, and
Yes.
this was like an ethnic tribe that's very predominant in the Zamboanga Peninsula, and they started living in the rivers, like by the
Mm-mm.
riversides, but then eventually they migrated to the highlands, or the Bukid. And as you can see, like they have a lot of like baskets and stuff, is
Yes.
because they're like a farming tribe. So it really represents like their hard work and the abundance of like produce that they have, because their way of life is evident here in Mindanao, especially
Yes.
from the crops that they grow, the stuff they produce. um, and then also Subanen, actually currently right now, when there are rituals and stuff, they usually wear the black. But
Mm.
based from my design, shout out to Sir um, Noel Inez. I
Yes.
thank you for the ethnic costume. I'm really really proud to wear it on his behalf. And so, yeah, actually, the blue outfit was like the colors of the Subanen tribe before, that they used to wear.
Mm-mm.
And then it actually makes me even more prideful and happy to wear such a costume, because the way I see it, it really represents like the Philippine flags. It has like the Filipino colors in it. So it makes me feel like I'm representing the Philippines.
Yes. Because what you said, it's Subanon, is Suba River. So actually, Subanon sometimes is referred to people of the river.
Yes,
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 mm. And of course, there is a voting for that. Anything?
yes.
Yes,
There is a
any
voting for
details for
this.
that? Yes.
Yeah, the voting for the ethnic costume is,
Mm.
I think it's in the link below. That all you have to do
Yes,
is just view the TikTok video, and then the the winner, I believe,
yes,
yes, maybe it's there or
yes.
wala pa.
Oh, Jason is
Or it's
there.
on my
Yes.
it's on my Facebook profile anyway.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that information. Yes. Kaya sa mga nandiyan, lalo na sa mga kababayan sa Zamboanga Del Sur, guys, please do vote for Mr. Januarius Paglinawan.
Yes.
Januarius, I would like
Same thing with, oh,
yes.
sorry, sir.
Go on. It's
Sorry, I
okay,
just
go on.
remembered same thing with the introduction video. The
Mm.
highest views is immediately catapulted to the semifinals for Misters.
Wow.
So if you
Yeah.
guys can watch, if you guys want to support me, do watch my introduction video. Thank you.
Yes, you're so welcome. And of course, the finals would be on September 12th in Negros Oriental, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow. Good. Ito, the finals
Thank
had
you.
been postponed. I think it has been postponed how many times? Now, how did you feel that? What was the feeling then?
Hmm. I I think, so I'm trying to remember the feelings that I had postponing. I think to me myself it was a blessing because
Mm.
I was able to prepare more and also to ground
Okay.
myself because a lot of my stress and where or what the challenges I was dealing with is actually fulfilling the requirements of like
Mm,
the
mm, mm,
introduction video, the ethnic costume,
mm,
because
mm.
my ethnic costume wasn't done here in Mindanao. It was done in Cebu City. So I
Ah,
had to find my way to Cebu City to shoot the clips or to get the costume to adjust
mm.
the actual overall costume and then come back to Mindanao to shoot here in my farm.
Yes.
And so within that
So
journey as well, it was actually very stressful. I think mentally because I also went to Manila to see some of the to
yes,
join one of the events with
yes.
Misters. Um, yeah, so mentally it was actually very exhausting.
So that was very nice because your designer has the information about the ethnic in Zamboanga del Sur.
Yeah, actually,
Mm,
I was very confident to work with Sir Noel because he was well versed in Mindanao. He's had projects here in
mm,
Mindanao, and
mm.
he even designed the costume for like this cultural event for the Subanen like tribe.
Yes.
It was a Subanen
Okay.
inspired cultural dance.
Mm.
Yep.
Wow. And you have mentioned that you went to Manila also, and I think you're the only candidate from Mindanao who happened to fly to
Yeah,
Manila and see all these uh, candidates from Luzon.
yeah.
And
Funny
even
story.
yes, yes,
I went to Manila because um, the management that I'm in, they wanted to support one of our co-models who was also joining Miss World. So after I shot everything for my ethnic costume, um, I was invited to watch Miss World to support our co-candidate or co-model. And so, but when we went there, it was
mm.
postponed. Miss World was
Yes,
postponed,
yes,
diba? So
okay.
I it was like sayang, and then the typhoon also hit, so we didn't get to go
Yes.
anywhere. We were just stuck in
Mm.
our condo at that time, along with me and my other co-models. And
Yeah.
since coincidentally there was an event for Elite Skin, which is one of
Yes.
our um sponsors, so really to me that was a very blessing like experience that I had with them. We were taught about the importance of like taking care of your skin, like the proper procedures, and then
Mm.
valuing ourselves like we are our own investments. And then since after joining that, I've actually started applying skincare, which to me is a very interesting world.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So I would I would like to ask, who is that girl competing for the Miss World Philippines?
Megan Campbell.
Okay, Megan Campbell.
Megan Campbell.
Yes, also representing
Yes.
from Cebu, right?
Yes. Actually
Lapu-Lapu,
there's a
Lapu-Lapu City,
yeah,
right? I
there's a
think.
lot of there's a lot of very strong Cebu candidates this year for Miss
Exactly.
World.
Yes, we
So I
have
support
Doc
I support
Shaila
all of them.
Reportera also is there.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. I
and
actually saw on your
Tracy. Yes,
introduction,
yes,
JC.
was yes, very strong. Three of them are actually very strong.
They're
It's
very
another
strong, and
tough.
even the candidates that are not from Cebu, they're also very strong. So I was excited to see.
Exactly. The same thing with Misters of Filipinas. You have a very strong batch.
Yes,
How
I
was the
believe
feeling, the first
so.
impression? How was the first impression when you met the candidates from the Luzon area?
I was first. I was very like stressed because I didn't know where the place was in Makati. So I was like, Kuya Grab, save me. Which side of the building is this in? And then
Yes,
when I went there, I was like haggard now. I was sweating, my hair
yes.
was messy, and then I walked in and I'm like, whoa, everyone is guapo. Like everyone looks good. Everyone, yeah. So that's
Yes,
my first impression. And then, but then when I started seeing the boys, I was like, oh my god, okay, this is a competition. I'm in a competition. But then later, the more that I talked to the boys, I realized, wow, this is such an amazing competition. Like everyone is so nice. It's
yes.
like a brotherhood, and I'm really happy and grateful for them. They're all excited to also meet the rest of like Mindanao and the Visayas region.
And here's the photo.
Yes, this is the one. You can see I'm on the right side, very haggard.
No, not exactly, but you have the same clothes with Mr. Pasay. Uh, Pasay is that or Tagig? Tagig,
The
the
gig,
other one.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
Tagig. And I did an interview with one of them, Romel, and of course Kenneth, and of course Jason.
Ye- Yes,
Yes,
those are very strong candidates actually.
yes. Does it give you pressure in a competition that you have very strong bats?
In the beginning, I think in the beginning I felt the idea of the competition, and I think that's where I really lost myself. That's where I really thought, oh no, I started self-doubting, and then all my negative thoughts started coming in. But then I realized that I rem- I rem- I remembered why I was doing the things that I'm doing, or why I'm even at Misters, and because of that, I realized this is not a competition anymore. If anything, it's a competition with myself.
Yes, exactly. Now, how were you discovered to join Misters of Filipinas?
Sorry, how was I
Yeah,
discovered?
yes.
Okay, so I joined a previous like a local pageant
Mm.
from Vine in Pagdian actually. And then
That's
from there,
Pagadian. Mhm.
yeah, so I was dubbed Bays of Summer,
Yes.
and so I was Mr. Bays. And then oh, no, Bays, sorry, I completely forgot. But yeah, Bays of Summer. And then from there I talked to my manager and I said, you know what? I feel like based from the support and the reception that I was receiving from Bays of Summer, yes, that when I had my really long hair, I
Yes.
said I want to go to a bigger platform. I want to speak. I want to represent my current life as a
Mm.
millennial farmer, and also
Wow.
to show my youth organization that they can do whatever they want to do if they really try. And so I wanted to do Mr. World actually next year because that's the only pageant that I thought that was male, like Mr.
Yes.
World
Mm.
next year.
Mm.
But then he said, no, there's Misters of Filipinas, which is also a really big pageant. You should join.
Yes, very
And then I
prestigious
and then
pageant.
I did. Yes.
Wow. So this is that I thought that pageant was in Cebu, but it was in Pagadian. So
No, it's in
our
Pagadian.
yes, okay.
I
Thank you
was
for that.
actually thankful. I'm so grateful for Vines and Sir Gary to give me the opportunity for that event, because if it wasn't for Vine, then Zamboanga Del Sur people wouldn't know me, or wouldn't know that I'm
Yes,
actually here in Dumingag. And yeah,
exactly.
so I'm super grateful for them.
And what have you learned from the pageant?
Wow, there's a lot that I learned, but I think what made me want to go to a different pageant, to go to a bigger platform, to go to a national pageant, was what I learned was that my voice is very strong,
Mm-mm.
and we as leaders, we have to, like, if we have the voice, then why can't we use it to do something positive, something good, when the world is so, like, it's so clouded with so much negativity and like issues and problems. I feel like people also, as a youth leader,
Mm.
we should do our part and also create awareness and educate what is going on with the current situation. And so that's why, and that's really what I learned, and that's why I wanted to go bigger, go home or go
Wow.
big.
Yes, and of course, good luck to the finals on September. Yeah, September
Thank
in
you, sir.
Negros Oriental. And what about your former wear? Who is your
Oh,
designer for
that
that?
it will be the same designer for the same designer as who designed my ethnic costume.
Ah, okay.
Yes,
So good luck with
but
that.
I haven't seen
Ah,
it. I haven't seen it, but so it'll be when I go to Negros, it's gonna be my first time to see it.
wow. Instant.
Yeah,
Okay. And how do you prepare for your Q&A?
it's I've currently I've been like practicing with people, asking people's questions, like seeing their thoughts, and then
Mm,
thankful I also have like a trainer, Miss
mm,
Mitch from Cebu. She's been such a valuable person in
wow.
my training, actually. Like there's the proper steps to speaking, and
Mm.
so also I'm just watching other pageants, listening to how people respond to their Q&As.
Yes, because when it comes to Q&A, of course, you're a very good speaker. And also, other candidates are also very good speakers, right? Have you
Yes,
seen the
super.
interviews? A lot of
So
you
like
are
they're
actually
so
very
good.
articulate.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-mm. And that actually that's very amazing. So you really have this tough competition for this pageant.
Yeah,
But I know you can.
which makes yeah, thank you, sir. Which actually makes it even more better. Like the fact that
Yes.
there's such good people, like very
Yes.
experienced, like there's really a mix of like very experienced and very inexperienced. But the inexperienced people are so passionate that they want to
Mm.
also be in level with the very experienced. Like it's a very healthy competition.
Yes. And let's talk about your days because you spent like 14 years in Vietnam
Yes.
with your family, right?
Mhm.
Where in Vietnam?
Yeah. In Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, Ho Chi Minh
Ah,
City.
yes. Exactly. Yes, Ho Chi Minh City. Actually, the former name of that is Saigon. And it's actually the
Saigon, yeah.
largest city in Vietnam, larger than the
Mm.
capital,
And
Hanoi.
yeah, and then people mistaken Ho Chi Minh City as the capital, but the
Yes,
capital is
exactly.
Hanoi.
I mean, some countries do have like that. I mean, do experience that one.
Mm.
Like in Australia, they have mistaken uh,
Yes,
Sydney as the capital, but it's actually the Canberra.
yes,
And Turkey,
yes.
like what is Ankara, but it's the capital, but they have mistaken Istanbul is the capital. So it's
Mm,
common to another countries because sometimes the other city is more popular than the capital city.
yeah, it's
Yes.
by popularity.
Yes. How is life in Vietnam?
I would say I lived a very, I think I lived a childhood dream growing up.
Mm,
So we were
yes.
very fortunate that my father, actually my father was a farmer to begin with here in Dumingag lang.
Mm.
He was a farmer, and then he was passionate to art, so he's very good at drawing. And then
Ah,
from there, when he
okay.
looked for work in Cebu, he was lucky enough to get into furniture designing. And from there, because of his like
Wow.
his attitude to work, his work ethic, he was able to get promoted, and eventually
Wow.
he became an OFW to Vietnam. And then with the blessings, of course, we went to an international school, and then I was lucky enough to be surrounded by so many different cultures, so so many different types of people that made me very open minded as well.
Yes.
And then
Mm.
also that also made me very aware of what's currently
Mm.
happening. And then also because of that opportunity, we especially for me and my sisters, we were lucky enough to compete in sports well within Asia, like on a yearly basis, and then also join like the UN. We were also delegates for the Model United Nations. It's a youth version of the UN. So
Okay.
I feel like we were very um, lucky growing up, and also my father, because of his, I think, with his passion to serve the people, he also started a community called Samahang Pinoy. It's called it's like he wanted to, he understands the struggles of like OFWs and like the, you know, how we all miss home and everything. And
Mm-mm.
so he made the Filipino community within Vietnam, and then from there he was then appointed as the honorary consul for the Philippines in Vietnam.
Oh, that's why I've seen
Yeah,
your introductory video, and the back is the Philippine flag. So I was out thinking, I think
yeah,
he's part of the Philippine diplomacy. Wow.
yeah. I would say yeah before, and then
Yes.
yep,
Mm-mm. So your father has a very, what is that, interesting or inspiring story, right?
yeah. My dad's story is super interesting,
Super.
and for me
Yes.
to reach the level of my father,
Yes.
grabe, it's like moving a mountain.
And speaking of Vietnam, there is one famous natural tourist spot in Vietnam. That's Halong Bay. Have you been there?
Halong Bay, yes, in Hanoi.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Is it beautiful?
Yeah, it's super nice, but I went there as a kid. Like growing up, my
Ah.
every holiday that we get, or like from school, my father would make sure that we travel somewhere new in Vietnam to learn the different cultures. He was very, I think he was very passionate with photography and make sure to capture
Yes.
every experience, because you know we don't know that like that's just in that moment, and then when the next time we come back, it's a different story.
Exactly. Yes. And I would like to add trivia. Halong means descending dragon in Vietnamese language.
Yes, actually, the
Yes.
reason why it's called Halong Bay is also because of there's the how
Dragon
do you call
shape,
this,
like that.
mountains? Yeah,
Yes.
the dragon shaped mountains,
Yes.
very
Wow.
visible.
Yes. Wow. And of course, your father has a lot of passion, ah. Ah, too much artistry sa kanya, no?
Yeah, he makes sure, like he always says that art. People think that art, you can't make money through art, about like drawing and
Mm.
stuff. But that's,
Mm.
but then
Misconception.
if you actually take art not in a
Mm.
literal sense, but take it into anything, whether it's in sports or whether if it's in the business that you produce, or there's art in everything. So like the farm here, if you come to the actual farm, you can see like his artistry, like how he like presents the actual farm. So that
Mm.
eventually became like a product as well. The farm tourism and everything here.
Okay, now let's talk about your stay in the Philippines. Anong taon ka nun? You went back to the Philippines with your father
Why
or
why did
entire
I
family?
why
Yes.
did I go back?
Yes.
Growing up in Vietnam, by being surrounded by so many different cultures, I sometimes, and then every year we always spend like International Week. It's a celebration in school where we show our different cultures. Like there's a different classroom that represents a different nationality. And
Mm.
so when I think there was one time when people asked me like, "What is it like to be Filipino?" Then it made me question, what is it really like? When like after graduate, by being an international school, immediately you'd think, okay, I'm going to study in like England or in the US or in Australia, diba? Like that's
Yes,
always the
yes,
goal as in
yes,
our youth. But then I think with the situation at that time, it made me like, you know what, I want to go back to the Philippines and learn what it's like to be Filipino. And then
yes,
my sisters, we all decided to go together. And then as coincidentally, I was graduating, and my father, he no longer wanted to work, and he wanted to do his own business. He
yes.
wanted to get into farming. So it's just the coincidence of time. And then we all moved back. And then we studied. I have three sisters. We all studied in Cebu.
And speaking of your body physique, even in Vietnam, you went to the gym or dito lang sa Pilipinas?
No, but we were very, um, how do I say this? Sports was a part of our lives, I think, and in the
Okay.
school really
Ah, yes.
instilled in us.
Mm.
Yeah, so we did a lot of sports growing up, and then because that built a lot of discipline, and that also taught you a lot about like teamwork. And then we
Mm.
compete maybe 2 to 3 times around Asia with sports. And also I went into a football academy growing up. So
Yeah.
that's really where the sports came from.
So that sport is football, di ba? Or
Sorry.
any other sports aside from football that you were actually doing in Vietnam?
Uh Actually, my first was basketball because the
Mm,
Filipino basket.
yes.
It's always a
Yes.
sport to go to.
Yes.
Basketball, and then I would always come back to the Philippines every year to do summer camp for basketball. And
Mm-mm.
then other than that, there's swimming, athletics, t-ball. I don't think a lot of people know what t-ball is. It's like baseball version, but it's on a actual tee and you just hit it. Same rules as
Okay.
baseball.
Yes. So you have learned that in Vietnam. I think we don't have that
Mm,
here in the Philippines. So you
No,
have to
no, no,
introduce
no.
that
Because
one.
it's a
You are,
t-ball is a very. I think it's a very English sport. So I think the
okay.
Philippines is very American influenced. So you wouldn't have it
Yes,
here
yes.
in the Philippines.
Exactly, exactly. Yes. That's why your accent is British, right? Because you went to British school.
I no, actually, I feel like a lot of the people. I think there's like a
Y-
international English.
Yes. Mm-mm. Now, I would like to ask this one because you are in Dumingag. In Tagalog or in Bisaya, minsan ba hindi nagno-nosebleed yung mga kapitbahay mo?
The people here, do they have nosebleed?
Yeah, I talking with
Sorry.
you. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even in Cebu, people would
Yes.
have, but what I realized as well, people like enjoy trying to speak English. So
Yes.
rather than me trying to learn Bisaya, it became the other
Okay.
way around. People would talk to
Mm.
me because they want to learn English, and also my father, he would tell people to practice their English because it's our global language, diba?
Yes. Mm.
So to
Exactly.
get around, to find a job, to have a job, English is one of the best ways.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
best ways to learn in order to get that opportunity.
Yes, and of course, patrivia tayo dyan, English is the third language with the most speakers actually. Number one is the Chinese Mandarin, Spanish, and then
Yeah.
English language. Of course, now speaking about the farm ng father
Hmm.
mo,
Yes.
it was not your, what is that? It was not your forte, right? Before, to be in the farm
No,
like your father?
no, no way. No way did I think of myself as a farmer. Even after
Mm.
college, my dad said I'm starting in the business in agriculture, and I said, "Oh, what? Why farming?" Diba? Like we went
Uh,
to an international school, and there's a stigma of farming where farming is poor. But um,
yes, yes, there's,
yes, so that's him getting into farming, and then I think the only time where I actually really appreciated farming was during the
mm-mm.
pandemic when I
Yes,
was alone, and then when there was lockdown, it's hard to go to the market. It's hard to get your own produce of food and everything. And then I realized, wow, money is no longer an issue. The issue right now is to live. How can we survive? And the only way to survive is food. How can I get food? I can't. So I think that's when I realized my priorities, which boiled down to farming and family also. Mhm. Yes. In
and
this
you have
picture,
here,
actually,
yes.
that picture over there was with Divine Smith. She was an old
Mm.
PBB
Okay.
housemate. She was teaching us food, and she was introducing food here in the farm.
So
And
organic.
then, uh, yes, like it was like a cooking food, like how to best prepare your food fresh. So yeah, like with Divine and we friends from Cebu.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
Oh,
Yes,
it
okay,
was a
sorry, sorry, sorry.
very holistic experience actually
Yes.
because we were also like meditating. We learned a bit about meditation from one of our
Yes.
other people that joined in. So it was nice.
So from farming, you have also ventured out to cooking, right?
Yes.
And how was it?
Cooking happened because in college, since I was studying business and in entrepreneurship, we had to come up with a thesis. So my group mates, me and like my five other group mates, they came up with food, and I said, okay, sige, let's go into food. I don't like cooking. I never did like cooking, and I don't like washing dishes. This is during college, but then I had to learn, and
Yes.
so by having that business, I learned to like food, and I realized that food really starts at home with the family. Really, food, like to me, that's the best way to connect my family. And so, yun, like started getting curious more. I got more curious about food actually, and whilst I was studying college, taking my bachelor's, I then went and also did culinary whilst I was studying, and also playing varsity just to pay for my scholarship. So I wanted to see the difference between a home cook and a culinary. Like, what is really the difference? And I realized by studying culinary, you see the fundamentals and the basics of cooking. And as
Yes.
a home cook, like it's all about taste, diba? Like home
Yes.
cooks are very good, especially our
Yes.
mothers. They're very good with like taste.
Yes.
You know, like
And it's
that saying,
health,
mothers know best.
healthier.
Or like there's no food like there's no food like home, meaning there's no food like as if you're compared
Yeah.
to when your mom cooks it for you at home. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and of course, I have this video. Ito papakita ko. Yan. Sorry. So you also have this tilapia farm?
Yeah, actually it's very new. My father started it early this year. And it was inspired because in Vietnam there's so much tilapia and there's so many
Yes.
things to do with tilapia and it tastes so good.
Mm.
And so he met a fish farmer and the fish farmer taught him how to make tilapia. So he's currently producing tilapia, which
Wow.
is amazing because here in the farm, I also run the cafe. It's called the
Yes.
Gazebo Cafe here in the Paglinawan Organic Eco Farm. And then, yeah, the tilapia farm is amazing. And so, and my TikTok videos, by the way, that's
Yes.
where I produce a lot of my cooking videos. I think fun
Mm.
content that happens, which you don't really see on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. And additional information tayo dyan. Guys, the word tilapia is a valid English word. So if you look at it on the English dictionary, you can actually find the word tilapia. Yes.
Yeah.
And
People, I think,
yes.
people recently, I think they call it mudfish. Like, or no,
Ah,
I don't think it's called
mudfish is
mudfish, but
another thing. I have actually dictionary
yeah,
like this, and actually there's a word tilapia here. Uh, it's
yeah.
Mullins because
Actually, we had a customer that came in and
mm.
she was surprised that like our tilapia didn't taste like mud. So that was a very like interesting feedback. I don't know where
Yes,
she's eaten her tilapia where it tastes like mud, but I would understand. Okay, it's from the farm, diba? It's like all with
yes.
mud.
I think one of the characteristics of tilapia is actually can survive in a brackish water.
Yeah,
Yes, and the tilapia that live in brackish water actually have distinctive taste. It's not too mad. Kumbaga hindi masyadong muddy ang lasa.
yeah,
So probably yes. And probably because probably it depends on what they are feeding.
yeah. Depends on
Mm.
what they're feeding, and I think like when people think of tilapia and how they experience tilapia. Maybe they think of mud, so their taste becomes muddy.
Yes, it's mindset, di ba?
Yeah.
And where is this?
Okay. So this was when I think the region had they wanted to introduce hydroponics,
Mm.
and so we were invited to join, or any farmer who wanted to get into hydroponics who wanted to could join this exhibition. It was a very big exhibition in Pagadian,
Mm.
and it was very cool because
Okay.
there was different types of hydroponics, different and hydroponics is really like um this ecosystem to grow like high yielding products like lettuce, but it was very sustainable because it starts from the pond and then it filters into the vegetables and then it
Ah,
filters out back into the pond, so it's really sustainable. And so after learning this, we took this as an inspiration. We have our own hydroponics farm here, and
okay,
so
yes.
much of our produce, like our lettuce, actually comes from there, and it's
Yes,
very cheap actually.
hydroponics.
Like if anything, the only cost towards it is just electricity.
Okay. So aside from hydroponics, I think we also have aquaponics, right?
Oh, sorry, this is aquaponics. I apologize. This is aquaponics. It's not hydroponics.
What's
It's
the difference
aquaponics.
between the two? Hydroponics and aquaponics.
Hydroponics is like in a greenhouse. And
Yes.
then aquaponics is the use of like water as part of like um
Ah,
this the
okay.
cycle and like farming itself.
So this actually hydroponics is very good for the plants that can survive with the water, right?
Yes. The
Mm-mm.
thing with hydroponics, it's just to start it, it's very expensive because you need to have an
Ah,
actual greenhouse that balances the
yes.
temperature and the water and everything. So aquaponics is the other sustainable alternative. It's also a very good method, which is
Yes.
also a lot cheaper.
And I think one of the best things about hydroponics or the aquaponics is the space.
Yes,
Yes. Mm-mm.
it's actually
And
going vertical. So which is something my actually my sister is starting a project which is in hydroponics where she wants to create a sample here in the farm, and then people in the cities they can also take the model after if they want to, because
yes, and I exactly. It's okay. Go
diba,
on. Go on.
living in the city,
Yes.
there's nowhere else to get farm. You can't buy a hectare, diba? Like where can you get
It's
hectare?
too
Like it's
expensive.
better to go up.
Yes. And okay, I have my co-admin say from Papua New Guinea. He is supposed to be with us, but because of some, you know, mga nagkaproblema lang doon sa flight,
Mm,
Roy Cruz, hi Jason. Tapos he has a question for you here, and do you think your achievement in your academe would be an advantage or disadvantage when joining Misters of Filipinas?
my achievement in academia, meaning my school, like growing up.
Yes, yes, mm-mm.
Yes, I do actually. I believe that it is an advantage because of the fact that we're educated, we're taught based on the school standards, we're taught, but even more so like studying in Vietnam, we're aware, especially being surrounded by so many different cultures. We are aware not only we're aware with other people, we're learning through other people's experiences. However, the disadvantage can come in. I feel like it's not a disadvantage, it's just how people perceive you. It's more of the
Yes,
perception of you. Like, okay, you studied in a very privileged school. You're probably this type of person. You know, diba? Like, there's already that type of stigma, especially when you
mm-mm.
start speaking. But I feel like education itself is an advantage. Whether or not that you are in academia, I feel like it also comes down to experience. I feel like
Mm-mm.
that's the biggest advantage. It's really from the experience.
Now let's talk about your advocacy as Mr. Dumingag Zamboanga Del Sur. What is that?
My advocacy is food security through agriculture or agripreneurship, because just like as I mentioned earlier, it was very real to me when the pandemic hit. And back then, I was living a life where I was living in the city, living the city life. I was working for a company that was in like advertising, your typical youth, like, let's
Yes,
go into advertising or something like
yes.
that, or
Mm-mm.
let's do that type of business. But after being in lockdown, it food is actually the biggest priority, because we need to in order to survive, we need to eat. And then when I was there, I realized, wow, I don't even know how to grow my own plants. I don't even know how to grow my own produce. So I feel like if I'm currently experiencing this, knowing that my father is in agriculture and farming, what more
Yeah.
about the people or even the youth who's in my situation but have no background at all, whose parents are not also into farming? So what more, like, if I'm not educated in farming, what more them, diba? So I feel like
Yes.
that's where I really decided to leave everything in the city to become a farmer, to learn agriculture through my parents. And then with Misters, for me, it's a platform and a gateway for people to see or people to learn
Yes.
also as part of my journey, diba? Like, I'm still
Yes.
learning. I recently learned how to garden. So by sharing that journey, it's people can see,
Yes.
okay, it's actually not that hard.
Okay. And I have the photo here. This one.
Yes.
Yes.
My
Is that
uh
in their
my
farm?
my father actually when the whole plantito vibe came in, my father came in very late, but as soon as he came in, he became super obsessed. So before, my farm had no plants. Like, it was like your typical
Ah,
empty farm. But then when he became into the fad of plantita, he really like went around the whole province looking for different plants, exchanging
yes,
with other different plants, talking
yes,
with the plantita community. And it's beautiful because now our
yes.
farm is filled with so much colors.
Wow, the foliage. Yes. And
And
of
then
course, I would
we
like
what we
to. Yes,
sorry,
it's okay.
go
Go
on,
on, go
sir.
on, go on, go on. Ikaw lang,
We
it's okay.
also in this journey of my parents getting to plantita, we found out more about flowers that are edible.
Yes.
So
Ah,
we started introducing edible flowers into our menu actually as part of like the garnish.
wow. And of course, speaking of edible plants or flowers, of course, the one you are holding is not. Because this is this is I think this is the variety of alocasia, right?
My knowledge with plants is very minimal. I just think they're very beautiful. So
Yes.
I don't know what these are.
No, I'm very certain that this is alocasia because living in Zamboanga del Sur, these plants are actually very common to us. When I grew
Yeah.
up, I've seen this plant anywhere in in Zamboanga del Sur. Now they are being what is that regarded as ornaments and with a price. Dati, itagalog ko na lang,
Mm,
you can see it anywhere kahit saan, likod ng school, at the back of school, at the back of your backyard, backyard na lang. Okay. But this one is an ornament. And because of this
yep.
plantitos, also caladium is there. Caladium is like gabi, or I'm not sure if you're
Yep.
particular about that. Yes.
Gabi is a very like it's a dominant plant
Yes.
here in the province.
And it has this very colorful foliage. And some of them are the ornaments. Actually, that is caladium in English.
Mm,
We have also croton. San Francisco, we call that I know that your father knows that one. It's San Francisco in our. I think I have to share it here. I think your father knows this one, or your mother also. Yeah, I love this because my mother and used to have this one. Mm, croton.
it's amazing
Yes.
because of the pandemic. Everyone became a green thumb.
Yes.
Yeah,
I used to be a green thumb also.
this
Yes,
is
I know.
we use
You
this. Yeah,
recognize.
actually, yeah, super beautiful.
Yes. And Coleus also. Coleus is Mayana in the Philippines. The English word is Coleus. Ah, nawala. Hello? So sa internet to, sa internet. Oo. So guys, actually ang daming plants sa Zamboanga del Sur guys. Dati kahit saan-saan na lang tumutubo. Ngayon, eh, na-surprise ako. Binibenta na sa online. Isa na 'yan yung Coleus or Mayana sa atin. Tapos yung Caladium na isang uri lang ng gabi sa atin pero ngayon binibenta na. 'Yan. Tapos yung hinahawakan ni Januarius, isang klase ng alocasia. Those are valid English words. So, actually kahit saan 'yan dati sa Pilipinas. Ngayon talagang may price na pati mga celebrities natin meron, eh. 'Di ba pati asawa ni Manny Pacquiao meron siyang malaking alocasia sa bahay nila, 'yan. So, hintayin natin si Jan.
Hi, sir. Sorry, my audio went down and my cam went funny. Okay, let me just come back
It's
on.
okay. I-share ko lang habang hinihintay kita, i-share ko lang itong isang plant na I think you have this in your farm. Alam ng father mo to, alam ng mother mo to. It's Coleus. At every Filipino na into alam nila to.
Okay,
Mayana
here I am.
ito.
I
This
had
is
to wear my
Mayana
headset now.
Yes, this is Mayana in the Philippines. But the English name is Coleus or Coleuses. And I think you have seen this one.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Yes,
Yep.
it's all about foliage. So guys, when it comes to plants, a technical term for the leaves is that foliage. The animals that eat the leaves are actually folivore.
But okay, that's something new that I've learned. Polyvore.
Thank you. Yeah, folivore. The one with the fruits, it's frugivore.
What?
The animal, yes, that eats the fruits, it's frugivore. Yeah.
And so
Of
if you
course,
eat fruits,
you're
you are
frugivore.
the diet is fruitarian. diba?
Yes, fruitarian. And you eat rice. It's Oryza war. Scientific name of
But
rice is Oryza sativa.
wait, seryoso?
Yes, of course. I love trivia and I love information. Yes. Yeah. Alam mo diyan, nung
Well,
nag-upload ako dito, when I went to work here in Saudi, the placement fee that I used was the price that I won in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire way back in 2010 with Vic Soto. The price that I
sorry,
won there.
sorry.
Are you familiar with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game show?
Yeah.
I won a
Oh,
prize there way back
okay.
in 2010, representing, of course, my Zamboanga Del Sur, and the prize I used as a placement fee for my work in here in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Wow. What a big
Another
move. Well done.
another plant that I'm going to share to you. This yeah, heliconia.
Yes,
You have
I've
seen this one
seen
for sure.
this. Yes, for
Yes,
sure.
it's heliconia. Actually, in our province, Zamboanga del Sur, we are calling this birds of paradise.
Mm,
But it's actually yan. Mm-mm. Okay, Jan. Now back to pageantry. What
okay.
is? No. Let's go back to your farm. Ah. What's the best thing about
Okay.
living in the farm?
Other than, like living the peaceful life, I think the
Mm-mm.
most important part about living in the farm is that you learn to live simple. You learn to
Mm-mm.
value more of the simple things, which is really like, first of all, which is the biggest thing for me, it's like family.
Mm-mm.
And then after that, the best thing would be the fact that it's simple. You're just, like it's a lifestyle of just farming, exercise, being in nature, eating good food, healthy food. It's that whole holistic experience that I love. Oh,
Oh,
I
we
just
have a
read the question.
question. Yes, yeah. You can read it. Okay.
Thanks, Chamber, for the question.
Yes.
Success. Y- After 27 years of existence, I
Uh,
I had this idea of what success was, and me being in my youth, success to me was like, oh, be the millionaire, have the big money, like
yeah.
it was very materialistic. But we all have that different stages in our lives, and the current stage that I'm in, what success means to me is actually to see the success in my family. So their success and what success means to them is my success. I feel like if
Mm-mm.
I if I if I approach success on how I see success, like if whether to have the money or whether to have the business or anything, I don't feel like it's enough, it's compelling enough for me to be able to do and achieve that. But if I see success through somebody else, I think that to me it's like it, it it's something that actually makes me happy. It makes me feel happy about myself. It's nothing big, it's nothing crazy, but if there's any way that if I can give my success to my family, then that's success to me.
Wow. Thank you. And now, it has been what is that published or posted that there are two new crowns of Misters of the Philippines. The design of the crown. The one is after the Anahaw, and the other one is after the Sampaguita
Yes.
by Sir Manny Halasan. Of all of these
Sorry.
titles for Misters of the Filipinas, we have for Mr. International, Man of the World, Mr. Model of the Universe, Mr. Tourism and Culture Universe, and the Mr. Model Worldwide. Which of this title would you like to win?
I don't see myself anywhere but Misters of Filipinas to have that crown.
But given a chance, which one would you like to represent the Philippines?
If not Misters, if not
Yes.
the Misters
No,
of
no, no.
Filipinas crown.
The titles that instant titles that you will be winning during the finals, and you will be representing
Oh,
the Philippines in these 5 international pageants. We have the Mr. International. We have for the Man of the World, because we have Misters of the Filipinas, Mr. International, Misters of the Filipinas, Man of the World. We have Misters of the Filipinas, Mr. Model of the Universe. Which of these titles would you like?
wow.
O it depends. Kung ano na
I
lang
actually,
ibibigay. Mm,
yeah, you know,
mm.
I haven't thought about which titles or looked into it
Yes.
because I feel like my place will naturally fall into place when
Mm.
it happens. And you know, as I started this whole Misters of Filipinas journey, I feel myself growing and maturing in like super fast. And so who I was starting Misters is not who I will be at the end of Misters. And what the
Yes.
judges will see, what the audience will see, what even the country will see will ultimately reflect on who I will represent and what I will represent. So it's not about the title. I feel that's
Yes.
most important. It's about the person that I become after Misters of Filipinas and what I do after Misters of the Filipinas for the Philippines. I think that's most
Wow.
important.
And what are the tourist attractions or destinations of Dumingag that you would like to present in the Misters of Filipinas?
So Dumingag is known as an organic town. And you know,
Yes.
as my family, which is the Paglinawan Organic Eco Farm,
Mm, mm,
we are very passionate about organic farming. And so of course the attraction that I want to show is really um, our farm tourism. There's actually a farm tourism circuit here in the province, and the
mm.
farm tourism,
Yes.
like farm tourism, is very supported, and agriculture here in the province, and it's something that's very cool because if you join the circuit, you'll not only see our farm, but you'll also see other farms
Mm, mm, mm.
here within Zamboanga Del Sur
Yes.
and how they also cultivate their own agriculture. But then also like where these farms are situated is also very unique. You know, you'll also get to see other tourist spots along the way where you get to see the Sea of Clouds, you get to see a whole
Yes.
chicken farm, which is so amazing. I love the chicken farm. It's one of my best spots. And then you'll also see like
Oh,
El
really? Yeah.
Dorado, which is on top of a hill.
Yes.
So you'll really it's a very educational experience, but it's also a very like nature. Yes. This is me trying to communicate to the chickens, but they're not reciprocating back to me.
They are like ignoring you.
Yeah, it's like my love life. I'm trying to send energy to so I can have love, but there's no love life in me.
So this is part of the Paglinawan farm, right?
No, this is the chicken farm that I was talking about.
But
In it's a This
in
is a
different
chicken
farm?
farm in Mahayag. It's from Mahayag,
Okay.
and it's amazing because this is a government owned
Wow.
business or institute, and they actually lecture you and educate you on how to start your own chicken farm. And it's really cool because they have different areas where to show how to grow the chicken farm. They also show
Yes.
you different ways to shelter them. You know,
Mm-mm.
there's an expensive way, there's a cheaper way, there's all these different alternatives. But then they also shows you the different types of chickens. So it's really like it's a huge farm that educates you on everything about chickens.
Yes. And speaking of Mahayag, we have this one. I think this one is in Mahayag. I dream
Yes,
of
this
visiting
is
this place.
yes, this is the Eriberta Springs, like which I love. Actually, I fell in love with going to
Yes.
the springs, like especially in Mahayag. There's both Eriberta and the Mabanag Springs. Super cold, which I really love. And
Yes.
if you pair it with tuba, it can't
Oh,
get any better
so
than that.
I actually have my relatives, my brothers, and they had been going to this place in Mahayag, and I have not been to this place yet. But I wish I could be on my vacation. Yes, looking
It's
forward for that.
nice.
Yes, and looking forward to seeing your Paglinawan farm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And
let's
if you,
eat.
whoever's watching this, you guys are all welcome to the farm.
Wow.
You can,
Mm-mm.
yes, I formally invite everyone to come and visit.
Yes. We have here Royal Dreams Media. Go
Thank you,
Zamboanga
Royal
Del
Dreams.
Sur. And yes, go
Thank you.
Dumingag.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Yeah. Now, the theme of the Misters of the Philippines is masculinity with responsibility. I would like to ask, what is your definition of being masculine?
When I think of masculinity and when I think of like men, I immediately what I think to is how we were back like let's say in ancient times, of how cavemen, diba, like
Yes.
us as animals, or I even think of us as animals. Like when I think of us masculinity, and I think of the leaders of the pack, or the leaders of, like, let's say wolves or groups, it's always come
Mm.
down to the who is the most aggressive, who has the
Yes.
biggest physical attributes. But
Yes.
then when I think of the like when I think of like masculinity and responsibility of the today times, I feel like these are people who have developed like quality traits further than just the physical. It's the ability to empathize. It's ability to lead people. You know, it's the ability to know what is right and wrong, and to be in the middle of conflicts, to understand, and also to lead people to the right vision. And so I to be sorry, for masculinity and responsibility, I feel like whoever it is, whether if it's female or male, I feel like it's our responsibility to lead
Mm-mm.
people, to show them what is right and wrong, to educate. And also, I feel like it's very similar to, and also to develop qualities of a Filipino, which are family
Yes.
oriented, um,
Yes.
resilient,
Yes.
hospitable, and then to really from start from our family, from ourselves,
Yes.
to the community and to the country. And so,
This one. I'd like, napaka-cute ng photo na to. Yes. Where is this? So
that's
cute.
in Cebu.
Ah,
That's in Cebu, like south of Cebu, actually. I forgot where, but that little white baby
yes.
is the son of one of the binibining one of the binibining Cebus, and Kim Covert, back in 2019 or 2018.
I think 2014, she joined the Miss Philippines Earth and the Miss Philippines Air
Yes,
after Jamie Herrell, right?
yes,
Miss Dumaguete.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Mm-mm. I
So
think we
Kim Covert is a good friend of mine, and that's her baby.
ah,
Super, super
okay,
handsome.
yeah,
And then
so
I think
handsome, so cute,
she's
holding an eggplant.
yeah. So her yaya is from Aloginsan, south of Cebu.
Ah,
So we came there and
okay.
visited.
And I have a picture of her.
Wow, grabe, you have all these pictures.
Because I have recognized Kimberly Covert here. I said, oh, I think this girl's familiar.
Yeah, she's super down to earth. She's amazing, and now she's currently living in the States. She's pursuing her dream into photography, and she's doing a really
Wow.
good job at it. Kim
And
actually was one of the very first few people who taught me how
mm,
to like pose in front of a camera and to
and
like
you are holding
model.
honey, right? This is honey.
Yes, that's our honey from Agrico.
Yes.
Actually, Paglinawan Organic Eco Farm is the manufacturer for Agrico, which is in our like very we have a different varieties of turmeric tea powders and also
Oh,
organic
wow.
products. So our honey here is from Butuan, I think. Oh, I don't know why
So,
I
are
keep
you
forgetting
planning to
this.
have a bee culture or in your farm, Paglinawan?
We actually had it.
Ah,
We were cultivating bees before, but the problem
ah,
of doing it in our farm was that bees like to travel around. They like to visit, diba?
yes.
They want to visit like other flowers and stuff. But the problem is, other farms, they spray pesticides, so
Yes, that's right.
they killed all our bees. So that's why our
Okay.
farm moved to, oh my gosh, it starts with a B. Butuan, I
Ah,
think. It's a
okay.
higher level.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you for that information. Yan. And of course, I would like to add this word. This word is apiary. The technical term for bee culture or is called apiary. Yan. And if you have the phobia of bees, it's actually aphiphobia. Yan.
Mm.
And of course, with the expectation from your province, from Dumingag, and to those people who believed in you, even from Cebu, what can you promise in the finals of Misters of
Sorry,
Filipinas? What can you promise in the
sorry,
finals of Misters of Filipinas 2021?
sorry, sir. Can you repeat that again? I think it lagged a bit.
Okay. With the expectation of your province and of your friends in Cebu and your family, what can you promise in the finals of Misters of Filipinas 2021?
I think or I believe what I can promise,
Mm-mm.
and I think it's the only thing is really just to do my best. I
Mm-mm.
mean, like as much as it is a big weight, you're not only carrying yourself, you're not only carrying your
Mm.
family, but you're also carrying this province. So I it's I will do my best, and it's a promise for me to really carry Dumingag and carry Zamboanga Del Sur and Zamboanga Peninsula along with me, and also to show people how beautiful our province is. With I feel like Mindanao and what they say, like Mindanao is such an untapped location, and
Yes.
by with this whole journey, I feel like I want to make everybody proud, for people to see that Mindanao is beautiful. It's not just specific to Zamboanga Peninsula, but Mindanao as a whole. That it is a
Yes.
beautiful and peaceful place. I feel like there's a
Agree.
lot of stigma that's been going around in
Yes.
Mindanao, but you don't feel it here. Voila, it's super peaceful. People are so
Yes.
nice, so hospitable, and just like whether you're in Luzon, Visayas, or Mindanao, at the end of the day, we're all Filipinos, and it's the same.
Agree. Yes, but the same thing in the entire of
Diba?
Zamboanga del Sur. Even in my municipality, Dinas, Zamboanga del Sur, napaka-peaceful nung lugar. Now, anything that you would like to promote for voting or for support, take your time.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you to you, Sir Sam, for
Welcome.
reaching out to me to actually. This is one way of for me practicing my public speaking.
Yes. Oh,
Thank you
the
for
same with
Philippine
me.
Page. Yes.
Thank you.
Uh, thank you for your good vibes. Thank you for Philippine
Mm,
Pageants. Also, thank you to everyone who supported me since day one. As you brought up the ethnic costume, thank you to
mm,
Sir Noel. And what I want to promote is, for one, my social media channels. You can follow
mm,
me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at
mm.
Januarius Paglinawan. YouTube, I show my like daily vlogs of, well, not daily vlogs, but like I show you what it looks like if you were to be with me for 24 hours on separate days. And then on TikTok, it shows a lot of my food. So Januarius, it's all the same, Januarius Paglinawan. I feel like my name is super unique. So if you just type it up on any channel, you'll be able to
Yes.
find me.
Yes.
And also to thank you to Peps TV, to Sir Carlos, Sir June,
Yes.
Sir Mark for this
Mm.
opportunity. Do follow um, Peps TV, Peps
Yes.
PH on their channel, and also our coronation night on September 12th. And then lastly, support me on my introduction video. The more
Yes.
views, the more chance of me moving into the semifinals. But
Yes.
also, what's bigger than that, at least follow me there so you can learn and know more about me, learn more about Dumingag and Zamboanga Peninsula, Zamboanga del Sur. And then lastly, to follow Pep's Misters of Filipinas on
Yes.
TikTok to support my ethnic costume.
Yes.
Yes.
Januarius, were you born in the month of January?
Yes. Yes, sir. I
First
was.
day?
January 9. And my, my
Okay. I
my
was.
my first name is Januarius. It's after Saint Januarius. But
Okay.
the reason why but my nickname is Janji because Jan is January, and G, the small G, is number 9. So that's my birthday,
Okay.
January 9.
Okay. Thank you for that information. Of course, I would like to say thank you din sa lahat na nandito. Of course, we have Instagram, the Real Philippine Pageants. Thank you for the visit also, John G, di ba? Okay. And YouTube account we also have. And of course, I'm here in Jeddah sa mga Filipino communities dito na gustong mag-aral ng additional skills like bread making, cake decorating, massage therapy course, video editing, all of that, global skills po uh, dito sa Jeddah. And I'm actually an instructor for massage wellness course here in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Yan. Mm.
Cool.
Yes, for the Filipino
Cool.
communities. Yan. Mm.
Wow.
Yes, and I also teach before the pandemic, the world history. Yes, and the Philippine history also. Yeah. Mm. So,
Wow. We have a historian.
and I do love our province. I do love all the plants there, all these.
Yes,
That's why I was
I
excited to share some information to you.
yes, that's what
And
I've noticed. You're really into flowers and plants.
and animals, all of these
And
tourist
yeah,
spots of our province. Yes, because I am proud from Zamboanga del Sur. Yan. Of course, ano pinakahuli mo mensahe or message to your viewers, to your supporters?
first I want to say I wouldn't say it's a motto, but it's more of my self-affirmation. I just want to say
Mm.
everything is okay and everything's going to be okay.
Wow.
I feel like with all the social issues and problems around the world and like dealing with the pandemic, sometimes we can just take a step back, breathe, and tell ourselves everything is going to be okay.
Wow,
So
and
that's it.
yes, thank you, Januarius, for your time. And of course, Peeps, Sir Mark, and everyone here, my co-admins, lahat kayo dyan, hello po sa inyong lahat. And of course, from my municipality of Dinas, MSU Honors Program, and here in Jeddah, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. And Janji, good luck, ha?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you
Yours.
too. And good luck to everybody here. Thank you again.
Yes. And with that, okay, ito na. Thank you.